Hey everybody, Tony D with a very late Piney podcast with little Joan here. I was out and about all day, and so I'm running really behind. But let's knock these out. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 350 some odd cases today. Nothing really major going on in the world of the beer virus. As we all know, the beer virus is off on Sundays because the government workers are. And speaking of government workers, why is it suddenly that the second wave is here, right? Second wave, look out, second wave. In fact, in some of the red states, they're already getting gun shy and started closing things up again because they're seeing an increase of cases and people are freaking out. The thing is, you have to look not just at the cases, you have to look at the hospitalizations and the death rate. Now that everybody's on board with what this is and they're at least being wary if they're not wearing a mask, you know, the rate of hospitalization and deaths are still down. Even in New Jersey, where we've had a few marches and whatnot, you know, most of the numbers are still down. Herd immunity is definitely playing a role here, I think. I'm not a doctor, but that's what I think. And, you know, this is part of, unfortunately, the strategy of the Democrats. I have no other way to say it. The strategy of the Democrats is patently obvious and transparent. It's jack up the beer virus again because, you know, the riots are now going south. Trump has finally decided to take people out. He waited long enough now that nobody questions it, and now you know, they're right back onto the virus. Well, go back into your house and be scared again. It's like, you know, they're turning people against them. And speaking of turning people against them, mail-in ballots, right? So if you haven't seen the big scandal in Patterson, they found all these ballots all over the place in weird places. People left them stuffed in mailboxes. They don't know why. People who were either away or they're dead ended up on the ballots. It's a big scandal. They've indicted like 4 people in the matter. So mail-in ballots, I would not trust them. How could you trust them? You're going to mail in a ballot. You don't know if the person's dead or just, you know, maybe they just died within a week or two. You know, mail-in ballots, no. Obviously, you use them for people overseas or, you know, extenuating circumstances. But to use them just because people are too lazy to go to the voting booth, and yes, there's a beer virus, but so what? We have the means to keep people social distant. They wear masks. I mean, if any place you could social distance and wear a mask, it could be the voting booth. Why not? And rather than upset the apple cart, just give people the day off or extend the voting to another day. I mean, that would solve the problem right there. We all know why this is going on. It's because the Democrats think they have a better chance with mail-in voting. It's why they're suddenly interested in making Washington, D.C. a state. I mean, it's just transparent nonsense. So I don't trust mail-in voting. You should definitely check out the whole Patterson scandal. It looks very bad and very suspicious. And, you know, this is par for the course in any district that is either heavily Democrat or heavily Republican, because there's going to be corruption there, because you know, one side feels they always have it and they go too far. So that's it for the Piney podcast. Got to keep these short tonight. Sorry about that. Oh, and the other big news in South Jersey, at least for me, is no, Joan, don't rub your butt on the floor. Don't do that. Bad dog. No treat for you. Anyhow, the 4th book of the Pineys, which is an ebook form. The print form, I've just finished the file. That was one of the reasons I was late. It took me a few hours, but the file's ready. I'm waiting for approval. So within the next 72 hours, I should get approval of the print version of the Pineys, book number 4, Feud of the Pineys. If you haven't checked it out, you can check it out at Amazon. Link in the description. See you next time.